What's up, YouTube family? It is your boy S.Craft once again with another barber tutorial, and today we're going to do something a little creative, a little different. Today we're actually going to talk about how to do a freestyle design. Now, I've been racking my brain on how to teach this topic, and it's very difficult because most of it, there again, is just letting the creative juices flow, man. You're just freestyling on this thing. So you do need to have a little bit of creativity. You got to have a little bit of creative juices. But I believe if you're a barber, then you have some kind of creative ability already. You have to have an eye or an artistic eye to see blends, to make different lines and curves and things like that. If you can't draw on paper, then you're probably not going to be able to draw on someone's head. But so what we're doing right now is prepping little man for this design. He likes his hair short, so we did a number 2 on top and a 1 on the side. If you want to know how to do a number 1 fade, basically I'm doing it right now. I have my wall magic clips, and there again I did a 2 on top with a 2 premium guard, and then I went ahead and just put a number 1 premium guard on there and opened it all the way up in that parietal ridge area, and then I just closed the number 1 and I worked my way from the bottom and just fade right into that open 1. That's what I'm doing right now. Excuse me. Plain and simple, easy way to do a number 1 fade. If you didn't want to design, in just a minute we'd be done. So for the sake of time, I pretty much have them edged up, but I was just showing you, I'm throwing an edge on there right now, getting them lined up so it looks clean. So what I'm doing though is I'm just prepping the canvas for the design. I want everything to be clean. I want it to pretty much be done so that I can start the design. Now, as I'm entering into the design, I'm going to do the best that I can to describe to you how I do it. But there again, I think that you probably will learn better just watching. However, I'm going to do my best to kind of share with you what's going on in my mind at the time. So now, as you can see, I'm making a line and I'm balding that part out. Excuse me, haven't been feeling too well, but we got work to do, so let's do this. So let's say this. Let's say the part that I'm shaving right now, we're going to call those the white lines. The part that is the hair around it, where you can kind of see that dark curve, it almost looks like a wave, we're going to call those the dark lines. So right now I'm making a white line, but at the same time I'm also making a black line or a dark line. So that's where the white line is what I'm shaving in. The dark lines is what is popping out. It's what I'm creating. So when I start out, I always start first with a white line in mind. So my thing is, I want to just make some kind of little line. So as you can see, I kind of made a little curve. I started off with a curved white line, and I kind of ended it, just with a little round kind of a comma looking thing on the end. And then I started putting in another white line. And as I did that, you could see the dark line popping out. Now, some people, when they look at a design, they may look and their eye is drawn to the white lines. Mine's not. I am always drawn to the lines that are popping out. So when I make my designs, I keep that in mind. I start off with my white line, but after that, I'm trying to bring those dark lines out. I'm trying to bring the dark freestyle design out. So now I'm no longer focused on the white lines. I'm looking at, okay, how can I make these dark lines pop out? What direction can I go? And as you can see, I'm just freestyling here. Now, I'll tell you, whenever I first started this and I made that first white line and that little round thing, and I started, trying to make the dark line pop out, I was honestly like, crap, I messed up. I don't like this. And the reason I thought that, number 1, is because I wasn't focused on my creativity, because I was focused on the camera. So that front little part at this moment, I don't even like. And I thought, what am I going to do now? And I want to be honest, I think many people start out that way and then they're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? I've already messed up. My advice is keep going, see what comes out of it. So now, there again, it's hard to teach the creative process, but what I'm doing is I'm just creating lines, and I'm thinking, like right now, I'm like, where do I want this white line to pop at? How do I want it to look? And I kind of made, this S shape. Always got to throw a little S in there somewhere for Shannon. But I kind of made this little S shape, and whenever I came off of that, I was like, I don't want to make that S just stand alone. I want to tie it into something, and that's whenever I started doing those zigzag things right there. And let me just stop and say this. I see people do cool designs all the time, but they look like crap, and I'm just being honest with you. And the reason being is because they don't clean them up. I get so many people that come in, especially women, that want undercut designs, and they just want something clean. They look at stuff and they don't even know really the detail that we can put into a thing, but they're just like, I don't know really what I want, or they might give me a picture and they just say, I just want it to look clean. And I think if you'll clean up a design and take the time to work in it like I'm doing now, man, I'm just getting in different angles, holding it upside down. If you want to make a sharp line, turn your edges upside down and go down with it, like right there. Boom. I just kind of follow things around. See, I didn't like that spot, so now I'm kind of trying to fix it and do something to make it look a little cooler than what it did. It looked like just blah, So now I'm trying to fix it, just make it look clean. But I realize that even if I don't really like the design at the time, the more I clean it up, the better it'll be. Then I shave off the little hair that I didn't like, and almost like a skin fade. And now I slowed the video down, because after we put the design in, after we go in and do all that detail work, and with the kid, I usually don't do a razor because I zero gap my Slimline Pros, which I like Slimline Pros because they have a smaller head. Even though you're just using the corner like a pencil to draw, it's a little smaller than your Andis T outliners or your wall detailers or whatever, or designers, whatever they're called. But anyway, so now, as you can see, to give this design a little more pizzazz, just to funk it up a little bit, what I'm doing is I'm just going in and I'm blending in just specific pieces. I don't want to fade the whole thing because he still wants a #1 fade, but I just want to kind of make this thing pop a little bit. So I'll do just like I'm fading, but I'm fading sideways. I might fade upside down. I fade at different angles. But as you can see here, I'm coming in with just the corner. I tapped it with the left corner. Now I'm going in with that right corner, and I'll just tap it with it closed. I'll open it up a little bit, or I'll open it up all the way and just start working that blend around the design. Now you can fade around the whole design if you want. I didn't want to because I want to keep my lines clean. And if you ever get in a place where you make a line too fat, or you don't like the line, blend it out. I mean, you're freestyling this thing. If this was a picture that you had to follow, that's a lot more difficult, and I do those too. However, I love freestyle designs because you don't know what I'm meaning to do and what I'm not meaning to do. I'm just going in at it, and at the end, I'll just touch things up. Sometimes, man, I'll erase a whole piece of a design and fade it in like a bald fade, and just keep the part I like. Because I can do that, because no one knows what I'm doing. I am making this up as I go along, and you just, you get creative with this thing. Don't be afraid to jump in. Now, once I faded that in, I'm going in and I'm just cleaning up those lines to make that thing pop even more. Let me say this also. If you're afraid to do designs, when you're doing a bald fade, say, hey, do you mind if I just play around with a little designs on the bottom? I'll just shave it off when I'm done. And that's actually how I learned. When I was a very young man, I actually was really wild, and I would write obscene things in the back of people's head, and I would draw things that they would not like, But I was in my garage at my mom's house, man, 13, 14, 15 years old, just drawing stuff in their head because I knew I was going to shave it off. And then whenever I would turn them around to the mirror, they're looking at the front thinking, oh, this looks great. And all the friends that are sitting there waiting to get a haircut, they would see the back of it and they'll say something horrible on there, or you know, have some picture of something that's horrible on there, and everybody would start cracking up laughing, and they'd say, "Man, what'd you do to me?" And I would show them in the mirror. We'd get a laugh out of it, but then I would erase it. But I hope this helps some way. Just keep going back and watching it, just so you can see kind of what I'm doing, and just the creative process. But this is the finished product. I hope that you guys like it. There again, it's so hard to teach on how to do a design. Mainly it's just keeping clean lines, turn your edger upside down. Don't be afraid to get creative, but I think this is gonna really work for you guys if you'll just step out and try it. Clean up those little blends around it, make it look nice. The cleaner, the better. God bless you guys. Hey, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do that. And I just want you all to know that I thank you so much for subscribing. I thank you for following, and I thank you for sharing. Live every day like it's your last, because it just might be. God bless you guys. Peace.